Through the intervention of the ministry this year, uniforms and other apparel for state institutions will be sourced locally from our producers. Ghana Prison Service is sewing, still made in Ghana. Private people are sewing, still made in Ghana. The most important thing is that all uniforms must be made in Ghana. We should not enrich other countries at our detriment. We should not give employment to other countries while our teeming youth suffer. And so this year, we are excited that the uniforms will be sold here. It's going to help us maintain the strength of the city, all the money we need to change and export, to import these uniforms will be a thing of the past. Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. It's amazing the number of women we have in the ministry, fortunately led by a woman. And so our objective is to promote gender equity and economic empowerment by integrating women into trade, agribusiness and industrial activities with a focus on agro-processing. This we have done. It is not an intention, it's something we have already started. So training has been done for women-owned businesses to enable them access export market. The number of exporters we have does not reflect the gender of this country. And so we've made conscious efforts to empower women to take advantage of the export market, which is, of course, a bigger and better market. In support of cross-border trade, the ministry sensitized over 2,800 businesses led by women, youth, and persons with disability across Elubu, Takrady, Tamale, Cape Coast, Aflao, Akanunuope, and Sunyane, in collaboration with Trademark Africa and the World Bank. GEPA, with the support from ITC She Trades Project, trained more than 150 led women businesses, which is also great. This initiative reflects the government's commitment to women and youth participation in trade, agribusiness, and industry. The affirmative act has been passed, and so now ministries have to make conscious efforts to mainstream women in what they do, and we have already started. My baby at the ministry, the Business Regulatory Reform Program. This program is to improve the quality and transparency of regulatory administration, create a predictable business regulatory environment conducive for private sector development, and make Ghana the most business-friendly country in Africa. What have we achieved so far with the Business Regulatory Reform Program? We've been able to produce a Ghana's Be Ready assessment report that replaced the ease of doing business. The Ghana Be Ready self-assessment is an improvement of the ease of doing business. We have achieved that. We have developed online reform management and progress tracking system, first in the sub-region. We have interactive web portal created for public-private consultation. We have the Business Regulatory Reform Bill being finalized with the Attorney General's office. So the bill is ready. The Attorney General is looking at it. Once he okays it, we are on our way to Cabinet. The Ghana Investment Promotion Center Act is also under review to remove the minimum capital requirements, among others. However, I want to assure Ghanaians that the small retail trading will be the reserve of only Ghanaians. At the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, we engage the private sector, work with them closely to ensure that there is sanity in their space. We've done a lot of these engagements, and I'll start with cement because cement became topical this weekend. I've already been engaging the cement industry, and the latest one was on Monday. The engagement with them was to focus on improving quality and price stability. It is right learning that where the dollar is right now, prices must be stable. And I am happy and excited to reiterate the point that the prices of cement is not going to go up. And this is a matter of fact. Industry told me. I've also engaged textiles and garments. My engagement with them was on the local production of uniforms, how to bring them, some of them up to speed with international standards, because this year we are high on textiles and garments because it produces a lot of jobs for our teeming youth. I'll get to that point later, but just to let you know that I've been engaging the textile and garment space. I've visited a lot of these garment and textile industry, and firsthand, some of the issues have been addressed, looking at how they can upskill and take advantage of the international market, which we are helping them to secure. Sanitary products. I've also engaged the producers of sanitary pads first to encourage them to take advantage of Ghana's free sanitary pads program, and also to put exporters, to put importers and then manufacturers together. As a Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, we want to encourage even importers to buy from manufacturers so that they don't need to import and pay charges and have all the problems they face with. Because our installed capacity in Ghana relative to sanitary pads is good in more than we need in the country. So I don't see the point in importing sanitary pads here. It doesn't have to be a law. It just has to be a matter of discussion and then agreement. And I think that we've made some headway relative to that one. Automotive, discussion with spare parts dealers with a focus on price reduction has been done. I started way before anybody could say Jack. Immediately I saw the dollar going down, I invited AGI and Guta and immediately asked them to look at their prices. And they told me to hold on a little bit because, you see, this is unprecedented. We don't remember any time in the history of Ghana that the dollar has gone down and has been sustainable for about a year. And so they asked me that we should wait and watch. I assured them that the path that we are going, the dollar is, of course, going to be stable. So after 4 months, the prices started coming down. And now I can say that most prices have come down. When you check the prices of oil, rice, kokonte that I like, palm nuts, all of these, you see that the price have come down. I know the price of kokonte because I really eat kokonte. And I buy it myself. You usually see me on the market shopping for myself. And so I know that prices have actually come down. Most of the things that we're buying in 2024, now we are buying at a reduced rate. And so when I went to Abossey, I realized that a lot of the prices have come down, even though two products did not, the price of two brands did not reflect the decrease in the exchange rate. Sprinter and then Resting. And I was told that Sprinter is an old brand, and so it's difficult to find. And in respect of that brand, it's just a matter of demand and supply that has affected the pricing. But we had a discussion and they agreed to work on it. I think that the people of Abossey are working well with the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, and I must commend them and encourage them to keep on working with us to make sure that we get stable prices that reflect the gains that we have gained. I keep saying that Excellency John Dramani Mahama has worked well to stabilize the economy. The whole idea and the essence of this is for everybody in Ghana to benefit. Consumers must take a benefit and investors must take a benefit. There shouldn't be any time that one party does that. And so I think that that is well understood and it's reflecting in the kind of prices that we are seeing. Food and beverages, discussion focused on standards to curtail the smuggling of substandard and counterfeit products have also been discussed. There have been several industrial visits. My joy. If I visit these industries and they are up to scratch with what needs to be done, the number of people they are employing, what they can do more, we engage with them to see what the issues are. I go to the extent of making sure that companies' issues that are even personal to them, we resolve it, because you see, if they have a land issue and you resolve it, they get the space to expand. That is what we do. And so we are hands-on with industry and making sure that we are able to help them resolve their matter timeously. The engagement with captains of industry on the 24-hour economy was also done. We worked together with the 24-hour secretariat to apprise industry of some of the things they need to do relative to the 24-hour economy, and that was done in Jubilee House here. We have seen the beautiful picture of 2025 at the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, where industry is doing well, prices are coming down, investors are coming to town, policies are drawn, just to mention a few. Now, what does 2026 have in store for trade, agribusiness and industry? I can say for a fact that 2026 even looks better. 2026 looks better because government is going to support the private sector to establish 3 big garment factories. And we seek to employ, at the long run, 27,000 people with these garments factory. And so the outlook is good. Garment factory is one industry that employs a lot of people. The beauty is the fact that you don't have to learn for 3 months, 5 months before you start work. It is that industry that trains you for 4 weeks and you already have a job. And so this is good because of the division of labor and specialization. If your work is just doing collar, we can train you to make a collar within a month. You start sewing, just joining and all of that. And so we hope that that industry will create a lot of jobs. The beauty is the fact that, again, in the garment factory, it employs all categories of people: university graduates, diploma holders, and people who have not even gone to school at all. Because you see, when it comes to sewing, some people are talented. You don't have to go to school to sew. I own a sewing business, and so I understand how people have not been to school and they can sew and owl you. And so this is one area where jobs can be created, whether you have certificate or you don't have certificate. And so for those who have been complaining that we ask for certificate for job, garment industry has come to give you a decent job without a certificate. We will train you on the job. We will fully operationalize the 7 agro-processing plants in the northern, central, Ahafo, Bono East, Northeast, Western North regions in the following value chains: yam, fish, poultry, cashew, nuts, rice, shea butter, and palm kernel oil. The Exim Bank, under the direction of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will put together 2 cashew factories, one in the Bono East and one in the Bono region. We grow a lot of cashew, and so the closer the factory to the raw material, the better the effective cost of production and less transportation, just to mention a few. So this is also going to happen 2026. 2026 is a busy year for trade, agribusiness and industry, a successful year for that matter, and we look forward to making sure that the benefits inure to the general public. We're also establishing a 24/7 business registration centers and digital helplines. Even as the 24-hour economy gathers steam, we want to make sure that you can also register 24 hours. You can have helpline within 24 hours, so no matter what time of the day you are working, the helpline is available to help you. We have also drafted the Consumer Protection, Competition and Business Regulatory Reform Bills. These will also be dealt with in 2026 to protect the consumer and also guide competition. We also want to boost export and strengthen Ghana's position in the regional and global value chains. We host the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And so, even as we are able to improve what we do here, we will be able to take advantage of the single biggest market in terms of countries in the world. 1.5 billion people, $3.4 trillion in cash. And so if you are able to do that, we'll take advantage of all of these. We've already indicated that we are interested in commercial contract farming. You know what we've been doing over the years. Industry rely on individual farmers. When the commodity or the produce gets scarce, you will not get it. I've been eating at Kotokocho Bar with the CEO of Gratis. We know that if cassava is scarce, the Kotoko operator will buy it at a better price than the industry practitioner. If it happens like that, industry suffers whilst we eat the fufu. So the best part is to enter into commercial contract farming, where the farm is so big that the Kotoko chop bar operator will not be tolerated on that farm, because it is to supply factory A that you have a contract with. And so the ministry is taking steps to do contract commercial farming, assist private practitioners to do that. And we know that will go a long way into solving the raw material challenges that industry has annually. Then agribusiness, value addition and value extension to transform raw materials into finished products for both domestic use and for the export market. Ghana is touted as the net exporter of raw materials. That is no good. We need to add value. Once we are adding value, we are doing import substitution, we are exporting at a good price, and then we are creating jobs in the process. If you just export cassava, you lose on the value chain. And so the agribusiness subsector is here to assist in the value addition so that we don't only add value to our goods for domestic market, for export, and to ensure that our city is stable, because only God knows how much money we need to import the things that we export the raw materials for them to manufacture. They buy it cheaply, they name their price and bring it back in the form of finished produce, finished products. And so as a country, we've made it a point to add value to our raw materials ourselves so that we can keep the dollar, we can create the jobs, and then we can do import substitution. We are developing a 5-year trade sector support program because we have an old one, and so we have started the review to develop a new one. Finally, we are supporting Ghanaian firms to fully leverage opportunities under the African Continental Free Trade Area. I think I mentioned that briefly, that we are the headquarters of Africa Continental Free Trade Area, the biggest single market in the world. And so we are taking advantage of what we host. We're teaching our industries to be export ready and after in area of packaging. In the area of standardization, Ghana Standard Authority is working with countries so that if you export a product from Ghana to another country, that country does not need to look at the potency or the standards of your product, because we would have agreed on the standard and harmonized it. And so that is where we are with GEPA, Ghana Standard Authority, to make sure that it saves time. Because can you imagine that you take your goods to another country just to wait for a month before their standard authority okays it? And so the best way to do is to make sure that we standardize the things that we export to countries, country by country. And thus, we have gone so far in doing it to ensure that our members are able to trade freely under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, where Ghanaians trade duty-free, quota-free to anywhere. Ghana is already enjoying the benefit of AFTA because it's one of our biggest selling points. Even as we look for investors out of town, we tell them that don't look at the 33 million people in Ghana. Look at the 1.5 billion people in Africa, where if you station in Ghana, where our security, our safety, our location is perfect, you are able to export duty-free, quota-free to any of these African countries. And so we are taking a big advantage of AFTA. My account of the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, with the support of my hardworking, able staff, and we say thank you for the support that we have received.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that thorough and comprehensive briefing, which basically touched on all aspects of the work done by the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. At this juncture, we will delve straight into the questions that media men and women present here may have regarding the presentation made or any issues that relates to the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. So please walk up to the microphone, identify yourself as is the usual rubric, and then ask your question.
My name is Wisdom Hedejome. I work with TVXYZ. So in the KPIs that the president gave to the ambassadors and the high commissioners, they were supposed to increase trade by a certain percentage. We want to know what the ministry is doing to ensure that those metrics are met, and those that do not meet it, what sort of sanctions are there for them? Right. And then you talked about visiting Abossey and then the cement issue. Is it only limited to these ones? Because if you look at the overall economic micro indicators and then the price stability vis-a-vis the standard of living, just want to have a clarity on that. And then finally, regarding agribusiness, you talked about establishing some businesses in some parts of the country. If you go to Volta region, for example, we have a vast land for coconut production. Today, if you want Kubeangwa, you not get. If you want Ajungo, you not get. What is the ministry doing in that regard?
Thank you for that investment pitch for the Volta region. I'm sure they would appreciate it. Yes, can we? So let's take a couple of them and then you answer them. Yeah.
My name is Abdul Hanan Adam, and I work with the EIB network. Minister, your predecessor, before they exited office, introduced the Ghana Standard Authority regulation, that is the LI, to regulate cement pricing in the country. You mentioned in your presentation that there's some sort of brouhaha surrounding it, and it will interest you to know that just this morning, my landlord sent me a text message saying that he wants to increase rent by 10%. And he included the cement pricing in terms of doing renovations and all that, including district assembly levies that they collect. I want to find out if you would want to revisit that particular LI so that we have some sort of regulation in that industry, because people are complaining that if the regulation is not there, these manufacturers and businesses will take advantage of Ghanaians. My second question has to do with the 24-hour economy, which your main opponents, that is the opposition New Patriotic Party, say that it is a scam. They say that the government hoodwink Ghanaians into believing that it is going to create 3-shift jobs in the country. Your ministry being the central in the implementation of this policy, how far are you with regards to this? How many factories or how many establishments should we expect from you by close of 2026 and the outlook for 2027? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'll take 2 more questions from Courage and then Akos, and then we'll come back for a final round. Because of the constraints of time, we urge you to summarize the questions.
Komla Klucha, I work at TV3. In 2024, your predecessor then, Katie Harmony West, still an MP, then in Parliament, told the House that they had leased the Commander Sugar Factory to West African Agro Limited, an Indian-based company, for a renewable term of 15 to 20 years. Now, he went on to say that $50,000 each month was supposed to be paid to Watco. How much has the government paid the Indian firm Watco as of now? Then 2, you just indicated that small retail business will be a preserve of the Ghanaian. This is according to you a short while ago, you said it. Now, if you go to Circle and another parts of the country, we have seen an influx of Chinese who are selling cars, not the Zonda and then the other people. What the carport guys of the country do, these Chinese guys are on TikTok, on social media, advertising the sale of these cars. That's a preserve of the Ghanaian. Right. What is the position of your government on this issue about retail, specifically to the issue of the sale of cars?
All right, thank you very much, Komla. So Akos will have the last word in this round, after which we'll come back for a final one.
Akosi Aotre, I work with CTFM. I know that you work hand in hand with the Transport Ministry, and the NDC manifesto committed to the establishing and operationalization of a national shipping line. What stage is this initiative currently? What is the policy design? In short,
I would
when
have
are we
thought
expected
I would
to
have
see?
thought that is a question reserved for the Minister for Transport. It is purely a transport function.
That was why I said I know you work hand in hand with the transport
Yes,
ministry.
even if that
so
were the case,
she
it
can
is a
she
matter-
can't give
no,
an answer to
No, she
to
cannot.
that.
I'm afraid I would have to rule that
Okay,
out,
so the
because,
second question
it
is,
falls under another ministry. also.
what specific enforcement actions has your ministry taken in the past year to ensure the Made in Ghana policy or campaign is not just a slogan? Because we've seen a number of you let me leave it as such, but what is the enforcement over there? And then to add to the question Komla asked about retail, in fact, GUTA data from the Ghana Union of Traders Association states that 70% of the trading retail market had been occupied by the foreigners. 70% of the market
I mean, the retail
has been taken control over by the foreigners, and 30% to Ghanaians. So the question Komla asked, I want to find out from you if you admit or you agree with GUTA's data. If you do, is this not a clear admission that your ministry has failed to enforce the GIPC Act Section 27, reserving the retail space for Ghanaians? And if you do not agree, who is responsible?
All right, thank you very much. So the minister would take these questions, after which we'll come back to take a second round.
Thank you very much. I'll start with the ambassador's KPI. Yes, now Ghana is into economic diplomacy. And so all ambassadors have been entreated to make investment a priority. Before they left, I had the opportunity to address all the ambassadors, telling them of areas of interest in Ghana, the opportunities available in Ghana where they can sell Ghana, the selling points and all of that was done in a very big session. Thereafter, Ghana has trade attaches in some of the missions, and we get reports and we get inquiries. So we're working closely with all the ambassadors who are seeking inquiries. They direct investors to come to our space, and so we are working very closely to ensure that they are able to honor this KPI. And then agribusiness in the Volta region. Yes, recently the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, as I indicated, gave a lot of coconut seedlings to farmers, and it includes farmers in the Volta region. So I'm sure very soon you'll get Kubenwa that you've been looking for. Yes, and so the LI on cement is there and it's in force. It is on the power of the LI that I met the cement manufacturers and told them exactly what the law says. I don't need to belabor the point. The best part is the fact that we all agreed that we could not increase cement price, and that's what it is. But if you want me to delve a little deeper, you need to state your ex-factory price at the beginning of every month, latest by 8th of the month. And so long as nothing of that sort had been done, nobody could change the price. And so the law is there, we enforce it. It will be recalled that in 2024, 42.5 strength of cement was sold at 117. Now it's at 107. And 32.5 was sold at 105. Now you can get between 80 and 85. And so we have worked with them using the LI to ensure that prices are stable. And so this, I can say the ministry has been working with them to achieve that. 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy has a secretariat and it's multi-sectorial. The 24-hour economy works with all the ministries to ensure that they are able to execute their mandate. I'm happy to tell you that this year, the Minister for Finance has allocated money for the implementation of the 24-hour economy. The Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, we are doing our part by making sure that industry is able to take advantage of that policy. That's why we are doing the financing. We are helping them with raw materials, because these are the things they need to take advantage of the 24-hour economy. So I'm sure at the end of this year, we'll see the benefits of the 24-hour economy. The garment factory we are doing is going to run 24-hour. The factories that I mentioned, everything is done with 24-hour economy at the back of our mind. One job, 3 shifts, 3 people is very much on course, and we hope to see the benefit working well with the 24-hour economy secretariat. Then WATCO. I can say that since I became Ghana's Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, WATCO has not been paid a penny. They have not been paid any amount. I think that it was an intention that was not materialized after the election, because you recall that this was done at the tail end of the year 2024, and when we came to office, we did not make it materialize because it wasn't efficient, it wasn't sustainable. 50,000 for doing what? Yeah, so that's what we have. And I can say for sure, without any scientific basis, that foreigners are not responsible for 70% of our retail market. I don't need rocket science. I just need to go to the market and scan around and see how many retail outlets are manned by foreigners. 70%? I don't know where that statistics is coming from, and I don't think that it is correct. I would not deny the fact that there may be a few people in the retail trade, but this is what happens. Even those people in the retail trade who are foreigners are being fronted by Ghanaians. If you enter the shop right now, you see a Ghanaian sitting down. What do you have to say that you are closing that shop because it doesn't belong to a Ghanaian, whereas it's being manned by a Ghanaian? And if you go to the Registrar General, the name on that registration is a Ghanaian name. So, I mean, I don't know. But what I can say for sure is that if Ghanaians don't want foreigners in the space, we can fish them out and sack them. But so long as we keep fronting for them, registering for them, there is nothing anybody can do, because you'll be sued. Can you imagine that I come to your shop and I say that the shop doesn't belong to you? The name of the game is evidence. You go to the Registrar General and pull document which says that it belongs to one Owusu Menu. Which black Owusu Menu does not come from Ghana? And so, you see, at one time, we don't behave well. At the other time, we shift blame to authorities. There is no way anybody can sack any business from the market so long as it bears Ghanaian name and is being manned by a Ghanaian. Don't front for them. Let them come with their red face on the retail market and we'll do the needful. And so I will say that we have done our part. I go to the market. It's not only the Abossey Okai market because it's recent. I go to Techiman market. I was at Bodi market, interestingly, last weekend when I had the opportunity to commiserate with my deputy. I went to their market. I'm on market. I even go to market myself. KJTR market I do, because I've lived in Kumasi and there are certain things that I must of necessity buy from Kumasi. That's where I know where to get the thing. Like the kokonte from Techiman market. Nobody buys for me. I know where I get my kokonte from. Every time when I go to the constituency and I'm coming, I know the lady. She'll see my face and start packing it for me. And I don't want to mention my friends who also take it. You are behind the camera. Because when I'm coming, you know, they eat from my house. And so I say, please, when you are coming, bring the kokonte. I do it. They also eat it. I buy it myself. So I'm not somebody who sends people to the market. You see me on Saturday doing the shopping myself, because you see, if your soup will be nice, it starts from the market. So I buy the things myself so that I'm sure my soup is nice. So I know all these markets and I buy from them, you know. So I'm not somebody who sits and I'm told. I go there myself and I know that this market is being manned by Ghanaians, among other things, and then we have to make sure that we don't front for them. So that will be that one. And the made in Ghana, yeah. The lady who asked the question, please, where's the lady who has the made in Ghana? Ako, let me see what you are wearing. Good. So, you've done well, Akosia. Made in Ghana, I keep on saying we should wear what we make, eat what we grow. Look at Akosua, very beautiful, elegant, made in Ghana. So we serve as role models for people to wear what we make. I don't think that anybody can be arrested for not patronizing made in Ghana. But it's a pride thing. And so the review of the made in Ghana policy will be much more interesting. It will encourage more people to eat what we grow, wear what we manufacture, and things like that. I'm also sure that the garment industry that are coming up will also come with a Ghanaian brand where it will be a pride thing to wear these things. You see, our children wear some brands because there is pride in it. If we put pride in what we also manufacture here, I think it will go a long way into ensuring that we patronize made in Ghana and eat made in Ghana. It's even healthy. We have a lot of these rice without any additives. Some are not even polished. And so we will continue to encourage ourselves to patronize and eat what we have. And so 24 small scale Chinese. I think I've answered all the questions for now. Thank you.
So we will expeditiously take remaining questions, 3 or 4 of them, and then the minister would answer them, and we'll call it a day. So, Odami, please approach the microphone. I've done the introduction for you, so...
My name is Shadrach Odami Ejari, Metro TV, okay. Ghana, and Ejari.
Oh, okay, so
and the Kokonte Lava too. So evidently, like you mentioned, Kokonte and other stuff have gone down, and every Ghanaian can feel it. But one thing we continue to battle with is transport fares. And these drivers you speak to will tell you the spare parts dealers only tell us on TV and on paper that the spare parts have been reduced. Yet you go and the prices are the same. Are we going to get to a place where, just like we print out transport fares, we are going to see working with your outfit, we know that, okay, full engine should be between 1 cedi to 2 cedi, so that we can also hold our spare parts dealers accountable.
You're talking of price controls.
Yes. Secondly, we have also spoken about efforts to move the local market international, but we still see our local manufacturers grappling for access and finding their spot. In the coming days, even though we've spoken about packaging and value extension, what are the strategies put in place? What avenues are we looking at to make sure our local manufacturers are able to compete internationally? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Adami de Kokunte Lava. Kester.
Okay. My name is Kester Crunchy. I write for the Daily Graphic. My first question is on the trading standard officers of the Ghana Standards Authority. I think somewhere last year, the minister inaugurated about 300 of them. And up to now, I don't think I've seen them working. So I wanted to know what is the challenge in rolling them out. I know that there will be financial reasons and all of that, but I want to know what the challenges are. The second one is factories invading residential areas and causing fires. I don't know if it has come to the attention of the ministry, but the last time I checked with the Factories Inspectorate Directorate, they said they didn't even have an office at the moment. They were being sacked for the Marine Drive project. Directorate, yeah. They said they didn't even have an office, and they were being chased out of the small space they occupied near the beach for the Marine Drive project. And so they were handicapped. I couldn't fault them. So between that time and now, these factories are increasing. If you go to Latebia Koshi, now the Chinese erect their signs. It's no more written in Ghanaian language, English again. They now have their signs there. And in September last year, there was a huge fire in Latebia Koshi. All the products in that particular building were petrochemical products. So you see all the chaluate and the things we sell in Mokola and the rest of the retail market. It's controlled by them. And there's evidence to that. So I want to know what pragmatic steps we are going to take. With the 300 inspectors, we have one all working to ensure that these things are done right. My last question, if you would. I wanted to know if we've improved on the quality of cement.
Okay, all right. right.
And if there's evidence to show that, because I know the Ghana Standards Authority do periodic tests, and in the past they've come out to say that they were not up to standard, or some inferior products were being used. If we can see the new testing from the Ghana Standards Authority to know that really we are consuming the right product. Thank you.
You seem to be well versed in matters relating to standards and the work of the Ghana Standards Authority. So, Mr. Setiye of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation will conclude this session for us.
Thank you very much for introducing me. I'm very happy that my hometown, Ejumaku Bisianse, is going to have a maize mini processing plant. During the presentation, I know that the government is targeting NTEs, that's non-traditional exports of 10 billion within a specific time frame. Last year, from the projections, Ghana earned $2.54 billion. What are the figures for the last 6 months of last year and the rate at which we are moving? Is it likely that we will achieve the 10 billion ahead of the stipulated time?
All right. Thank you very much.
And I may ask maybe the last one.
All right.
How many of the one district, one factories that were started from the scratch are still working?
Thank you very much. So the minister would answer these questions presently.
Thank you very much. I will start with Abosokan. And again, this is not hearsay. This is Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. I am saying it myself because I've been there myself. I have entered the shops myself and I have asked for the prices myself. And the beauty is the fact that I went with people who have been patronized Abosokan. Price of engine oil, it used to be 600 cedis in 2024. Now it's sold at 350 cedis. And I did the asking myself. And I got the confirmation from my team. Car batteries, I can see a dealer of car battery here in this room. Esther, Gifty. The cost of a brand of battery was sold as 1,007 in 2024. Now it's 1,200. Another brand sold at 1,200 is now 750. Prices have come down. I'll even move from Abosokan and go to the ordinary market. And this can be verified. Look at the price of, for example, Kokonte. Yes, I have Kokonte.
Number one in your list.
Number one on my list. Kokonte, that was sold at 1,200 a bag. It's now selling at 900 cedis. From 1,002 to 900, good savings for me and all the lovers and the Jare. You see? Yam Pona, that was sold at 35 cedis. It's now sold at 30 cedis. Those of you that were receiving food stuff from me, you realize that in 2024, thereabout, I stopped because it was so expensive. But now I've started. The prices are better. If you look at palm fruits, that was sold at 40 cedis, now sells at 25 cedis. And these are very viable facts. Just go to the market and ask. You don't even need any scientists to do this for you. Ask them how they were selling it in 2024 if you don't even shop ordinarily, and ask them how they are selling it now. The prices have changed. Most, I will say, most of these prices have gone down, even if not 100%, a lot. And it's good enough. I mean, it's impactful enough. When prices of one or two items reduces, then you don't really say something meaningful has happened. But if the bulk of the things have reduced, cost of sardine, cost of key soap that was sold at 30 cedis now sells at 23 cedis. Charcoal, a sack of charcoal that was sold at 140 cedis now sells at 100 cedis. 40 cedis off. So I must say that prices have actually reduced to reflect the gains of the economy. And so I think that if we say prices have not reduced at all, it will be a figment of somebody's own imagination, because the reality is that most of the prices have come down. Go to Abossey-Okai. I indicated earlier, when I did my checks, in fact, only two, Resting and Sprinter, and I've been consistent. If you go to the market right now, they'll tell you some of the engines, the cost have reduced by 10,000 cedis. Some of them. And so you will see that prices are generally good, but the issue of demand and supply and scarcity has affected two brands. And even those ones, they promised to do something about it. And I said I was going back to the market in March. I'm not sending anybody. I'm going there in March. And also, usually before I do anything, I would have done the preparation ready to take off before I announce it. We can't do price control because, you see, price control comes with its own negative effect. It gives way to hoarding and prices will rather escalate. But I want to do some kind of transparency where we have an app. Every shop will advertise their price. And then you decide where to buy from. So if we have the same piece of paper and I'm selling mine at 1,000 cedis and you are doing yours at 200 cedis, then the buyer will decide whether he or she is a Father Christmas to give me 800 more, or is a prudent buyer and will buy from you. And so we will not control prices, but we'll make prices available for people to choose from. And so we are working on that one now. Technology is up. Everybody has a phone, and this can do that. And so that will be that for Abossey-Okai. But please, if you go to Abossey-Okai right now, prices have come down, and it's not Abossey-Okai market alone. If you go to KJTR market, now the beauty is social media. Somebody will just pick a bag of rice and say that, I used to buy this at 150, now it's 70 cedis. We all see it. And then we all buy it. So if a price of just one item in one big market has not changed to reflect the reality, I think it's not a good enough reason for us to say that prices have not reduced. So I think that if you go to Abossey-Okai and the issue of lorry fare and things, I just heard the transport minister dealing with it. So I will leave it at that. And then the TSI, you know, nobody actually asked me to train TSIs. I did it with my team. What does that mean? It means I need them. I'm training them to fill a void in the system. And so they have been trained. But this is a place where you go through rules, you go through processes, you go through procedures. The first point is to get money to train them. They were trained at a cost. That has been done. Now the next is to deploy them. And this year, I indicated earlier that it's part of our plan to deploy these people to help the Ghana Standard Authority maintain standards and do what is needful. And then the factory inspectorate. Yes, they help industry. Interestingly, they belong to the Ministry of Employment. And so now that I know they have a challenge, I will discuss with the Minister for Employment and see how we can all help for them to do their work. And so you realize that where factories are situated and all of that falls under their purview. And so we draw their kind attention to the fact that industries are creeping within residential areas, and we know that that is not safe, especially that we've had some accidents. Quality of cement, I can say that the quality of cement has improved, and the latest report will be ready in February. We had the meeting on Monday, and I have charged the Director General for Ghana Standard Authority to do the latest analysis, and I have promised that any company that falls foul will be named and shamed and punished. And so, by end of February, I will come to the general public with what the analysis are, and will be very quick to name, shame, and punish, because we must get value for money. And it is our mandate to ensure that they do standard cement for our consumption. And then, okay, yes. So I'll fill in your question. You were asking whether we'll be able to get NTEs 10 billion by 2030. So last year was 2.54. We hope that with the robust measures that we are doing, helping existing companies to upskill, inviting more companies into the system, government supporting companies for exports, I think this will go a long way to helping us achieve this. Again, we are up with our harmonization, and we know that if the harmonization is done, it's going to improve exports. We're also helping people to be export ready. You see that GEA is training more women, Ghana Export Promotion is training more women, because there are a lot of women enterprises that need a little push to be export ready. And we have grouped all of them, and we are working towards it. So even though this is ambitious, I am certain that we should be able to meet this on time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so there's sufficient evidence to back the minister's presentation, unlike others who speak based on briefings. She has actually been there to, as it were, do their assessment herself. And she has indicated that Kokonte is her favorite. Mine is Gary Sokins. So I also know for a fact that the price of a bag of Gary has come down significantly. All right, so on that note, I thank you all for attending upon us, and I thank the minister sincerely for giving us one of the most thorough and comprehensive briefings about the performance of her sector. I do hope that when we extend an invitation to her again, she will be here to provide further updates on what her ministry has been doing. And to the media men and women present, I thank you as usual for showing up. See you again next week. Thank you very much.